This is my GTI build. I've come quite a long ways, and while it started as a timing job, I kinda made it everything. Here I am, doing the intake manifold.
They're not bad.
But I sure am glad I did what I did. I'm gonna make sure that you know everything that it takes to do what you see in this video. So if I sound like I'm explaining myself a lot, it's because I want to. Sadly, I didn't film myself taking the motor out, but essentially all you do is disconnect the wires, the hoses, drain the coolant, unbolt the motor mounts, and you can just lift it out of there. You're gonna need a load leveler though, because then you can crank it and make it go diagonal when you lift it up. That's the only gimmick. But in my opinion, I feel like you can figure that out before you can figure out everything else I'm going to show you in this video. Let's pick it up right here. You have to take the transmission off, if you want to do a rear main seal at least, or get it on a motor stand, which I never ended up doing. But the rear main seal is a very crucial component, so if you ever have a PCV valve failure, it's positive crankcase ventilation, and it's a valve at the top of the motor. It's a little plastic diaphragm. They always go bad before anything else goes bad. If you ever have a problem with that, you don't want it blowing out your rear main seal. And from factory, they're just pressed in little tin metal junk. They're junk. Okay, I'll say it. They're junk. I don't know why they went with this design, but 034 Motorsports, they make a very good alternative. Well, I don't know if I can say alternative, it's just a better part. So once you get your transmission off, you do have to take your flywheel off because, well, the rear main seal is behind it. As you can see in the video, I'm struggling just a little bit, and that's because I don't have a flywheel hold tool. Well, I don't have it yet. I actually received it in the mail about a week after this clip, and if I just waited, my life would have been a whole lot easier there. But
these bolts are going to get replaced.
What I ended up doing was jamming 2 flathead screwdrivers in just the right spots, one through a bell housing bolt hole.
They're out. My contraption worked
in the actual casting of the motor, so that I could kind of hold the flywheel in place as I broke loose these bolts. Just get the hold tool. It's something like $13, and I believe you can pick it up off of shopdap.com. That's shopdap.com.
Whoa. That boy was heavy. Here's usually the suspect of all problems.
I don't know why they went with this design, but 034 Motorsports, they make a very good alternative. Well, I don't know if I can say alternative, it's just a better part. Now that I've got the backside of the motor stripped down and, well, fixed, I've got to fix the front, and that's where the timing chain is. You can see that my lower timing cover and my upper timing cover is already off, but hold on, I can't skip this part. You need a special tool to get that pulley off that's on the outside of that lower timing cover. It's inside of the kit, T10355. Link in the description. You do need this special tool to get this pulley off before you get the lower timing cover off. I'm sorry I didn't mention it before. And in my next video on the GLI, I will be showing you how I got it off. But essentially, it's just a tool that holds the pulley in place while you take the bolt out of the center. Okay, let's pick back up on the video. I'm sorry. And here I am trying to take out my cam bridge. I took the bolts out and, well, it's not coming out after prying and wiggling, and I just can't figure it out. After denting my head just a little bit, 5 minutes later when I look and see that my spool valves are still in. Make sure that you are very careful when you take this cam bridge off, as there is raw material sticking out and into these cam bridges where a thin layer of oil is actually lubricating this, as there is no bearing. That is the actual bearing, so you don't want to score that, and you have to know that these spool valves are also righty-loosey, lefty-tighty, and that's backwards. Here you're actually looking at the bolt holes for the lower timing cover, and it's got gasket maker inside of the holes, and that just oozed out when it was being last put on. And I apologize, as this video I didn't record near as much as I do on my next one with the GLI, but right here I'm just cleaning out the grooves and making sure that the next time the RTV is on, it doesn't have any old residue, so that hopefully it all sticks. But as you can see, all the chains are already out on this car. And like I said, I didn't record as much as I wish I did on this video. But on the next one, I'll show you exactly how to take the chain off so that you don't spring your cams into the wrong direction. Well, the right direction. It's just that you don't want it to be off a tooth when you put it back together. You can keep springing your cams into whichever direction they push from the lobes, from the valve springs. It's just that when you put this back together, and if it is off a tooth or two, it might run poorly, or it might meet the piston head, the valves, and you don't want that. But right now, if you let one go and it accidentally springs about 20 some degrees, you are still okay, I promise. It happened a lot of times during this video and the next one. The footage I chose to put up while telling you all of that was how dirty this car was. And really, it's just a lot of sand. It's like you went out Midwest or to the beach and just ran this car up and down, but really, it's not too bad. I mean, yeah, it's bad, but it's not too bad. It never did get a engine detail, I can tell, but still pretty dang clean. There is some spilled coolant and the occasional little oil spill. Other than that, it's just never been really clean down here, and while everything's out, I'm gonna have a chance to clean it. And what you're about to see is not only how dirty this car really was, but me thinking that I had to take the valve cover off to reset the cam timing because it sprung 20 degrees on me and I had no idea. But nonetheless, I'm very glad that I took the valve cover off, and I end up taking the head off too. I'm very glad I did both of these things because you can see right here all of the anaerobic sealant. I would have said RTV, but it's actually anaerobic sealant that got oozed onto the inside and the outside of the valve cover. I mean, really, just look how thick this one is right here. Can you imagine if this fell into an oil gallery where the oil was pumping through to vital parts of this motor? And this right here is my bolt map to my valve cover, and it ended up not mattering at all because they were all the same length. This is easily one of the weirdest things that I found on this car. So, not on all of the bolts, but on a lot of them, there was this glue-like substance that I actually found on the side of the car there, just below the hinge for the hood, and on the frame rail. If anybody knows what this substance is, or could be, drop a comment, because all I'm thinking is super glue, and it's kind of making my brain itch. Please ignore my claws in this video. I did end up trimming my fingernails. I promise I'm not like a vulture or something, but there's more of that sealer right there that ended up being like a lot more than I would have expected. I know it oozed, but this guy really put a lot on there whenever he resealed the valve cover. And if you thought you were seeing something really bad right there, now look right there. That's just, wow, speechless. Just let that speak for itself. You see how thick that line is? That's ridiculous. Imagine another 50 to 100,000 miles on that car. That definitely would have melted off there, I feel like. So I'm very glad that I took that valve cover off.
Aha! They're not bent.
Oh, look at what we have. Is that anaerobic sealant? I don't know. Drop a comment. But it's in there, whatever it is. I think the best takeaway from all of this, though, is that the cylinder walls are not scored. Usually when there's bad stuff, mostly metal, circulating in your oil, you'll get something called bore score. And here, I just don't have any of it. Thank God. This is just a quick video right here of me seeing how everything is routed. As you can see right there, that plug, it's plugged in. Later in the video, it's not gonna be. You missed that? This is what you're gonna have to do.